Hey, what's up guys? I hope all of you are doing well, and I hope that everyone's having a great day, and thank you for joining me today for your daily dose of Star Wars. The closer we get to The Last Jedi, the more excited I seem to get for the film, as I'm sure a lot of you are that way too. One of the things I didn't like about The Force Awakens was how little Luke was in it. I remember the first time watching it in a packed theater always thinking, here he comes, anytime somebody mentioned his name. I was so excited when Rey finally found him on the top of Ahch-To, and then we get a literal cliffhanger with Luke standing on the edge of a cliff, and the movie ending at the same time, without Luke saying anything. Luke and Anakin are my favorite characters, and depending on the day, I would either love Luke or Anakin a little more than the other, and today it's Luke because The Last Jedi is going to focus on his and Rey's story arc, which means we will hear Luke speak, a lot. And he will be on screen, a lot. That already makes me love this movie. The first trailer we got from Star Wars Celebration teased us with the line when they had Luke say, "It's time for the Jedi to end." Immediately after that, every Star Wars YouTuber came out with the videos saying that Luke was a Grey Jedi, including myself, but we later learned that the words Grey Jedi aren't going to be in the film, and that Luke and Rey will not even be referred to as Grey Jedi in canon. That's the most common belief about this line of dialogue, but this doesn't even have to point to a Grey Jedi at all. In fact, this could tie in loosely to the video I did yesterday about Yoda explaining the Journal of the Wills to Rey. In that video I go over the idea that Yoda would explain the evolution of the Jedi from what it once was to what it came to be to what it is now. Perhaps Luke didn't even mean that the Jedi actually had to end, and we know he didn't for the obvious real-world reason that Disney wants to keep making money, and keeping the word Jedi around is the best way to do that in terms of merchandising, marketing, and promoting. Keeping that in mind and jumping back into the galaxy far, far away, Luke could have just meant that it's time to reevaluate the Jedi as they are. The line of dialogue in the trailer likely came from a longer monologue Luke was giving, and that's another reason I said tease us with this line at the beginning, because we really don't have the actual context for this phrase, just what it could mean and just as we interpret it. I think once we get more context in the full context, it will make a lot more sense than the misleading idea of the Jedi actually ending, which is of course what they want you to think in the marketing. Of course, as I say this, I'm about to assume what the context is as well, but I'm going to put the different spin on it to what it more likely could be. I think that this scene is after, again with the loose tie-in from yesterday's video, after Luke takes Rey down underground to where the Journal of the Wills are. He's going to show her the Journal of the Wills, and if Yoda comes in to explain it like I thought that would be a cool idea to do, that would be incredible teaching moment for both Luke and Rey. But if Yoda doesn't come into play, that's fine too, as long as we have Luke explaining what it is. I think that Luke is going to show Rey the Journal of the Wills, and the film is going to explain somehow how the Jedi have evolved, what they once were before the prequel trilogy, what they were during the prequel trilogy, and what they were during the original trilogy, hanging on by a thread with Luke, Yoda, and Obi-Wan at that point. Now, for the sequel trilogy, we jump 30 years ahead, and Luke is the last Jedi according to Supreme Leader Snoke. Luke tried to rebuild the Jedi Order, but Kylo Ren destroyed all that he had worked for and all that he had built in rebuilding the Jedi Order. So Luke decided to vanish and look into Force lore and the history of the Jedi, only to find that they had strayed so far off track that the Jedi needed to end in terms of what they were, but need to begin as who they were intended to be all along. So it's sort of like a rebirth, if you will. I'm not talking about the politicians we see in the prequel trilogy. I'm not even talking about Luke in the original trilogy. I'm talking about whatever Disney decides to call the pre-prequel timeline, where the Jedi weren't politicians and there were more than one living Jedi at a time. A time where the Jedi didn't stray off of what they were supposed to be, but rather focused on what they were intended to be all along. That wraps things up for me here in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more videos like this one. If you're a daily coffee drinker and want to be the first to see a new video as soon as I can get it up, hit that bell down there to be among the first to know when a new video goes live with a notification on your home screen of your smartphone. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep loving Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.